Welcome back. The United Nations independent expert on freedom of expression has criticized the UN and other international organizations for failing to adopt robust policies on access to information. David Kaye, appointed by the Human Rights Council in Geneva, has submitted a report detailing how the UN and other multilateral organizations could be more transparent about how they function and how decisions are actually made. He's also warned about the long-term detrimental impacts that US President Donald Trump's war on the media will have on freedom of the press in that country.
He warns that the United Nations, a central global political institution that serves the public interest across a range of subject matters, is falling even behind governments already embracing greater access to information.
Generally speaking, there is no system-wide access to information policy in the UN. So if you think about the number of scandals or other gaps in knowledge about the UN system, for example, over the last several years, one problem is a lack of ability to get information out of the system.
Several countries like South Africa and the United States already have existing public access to information laws that can force governments or private institutions to release information in the public interest. Kaye also raised concerns around increased disinformation or fake news.
We really urged first governments and political leaders to stop circulating false information, but at the same time in addressing the problems of disinformation, to really keep in mind the freedom of expression issues, because of course the right to freedom of expression doesn't distinguish between truth and false, right? It's a right to share, to receive, to impart information and ideas of all kinds. So in dealing with this problem, it can't be one that involves over-censorship or over-regulation.
It gives you the right.
And on President Trump's at times hostile relationship with the press in the United States.
It's an interesting dynamic, right? Because on the one hand, he is very clearly identifying the media as the enemy of the people, and I mean you can go through the tweets; they're awful. Interestingly, I think the legacy press and a lot of digital media has stepped up to the challenge, and so to a certain extent, investigative journalism in the United States is as healthy as it's been in years. So there is this this weird kind of silver lining. On the other hand, I think if you look across the range at what this administration is doing, whether it's sort of changing the culture of how we think about the media and how we think about information, it has a long-term negative impact on respect for the media.
In a world where greater scrutiny is increasingly seen as an obstacle rather than a tool to enhance democracies and multilateral institutions globally. Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.